Hello and welcome to healthyhouseplants.com, where we teach you all about gardening in the great indoors. If you'd like to support our show, please use our Amazon affiliate link below. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite plants, that is Chinese Evergreen. The botanical name of this beauty is Aglaonema. It is called Chinese Evergreen because it is originally from tropical and subtropical areas of Asia. Okay, so this that's where it comes from, but it grows well in most indoor gardens as long as you don't have a really cold home. And I'll talk about that in the temperatures. So today, when I talk about temperature for it, today I'm going to be talking to you about how to grow this plant to have a really healthy Chinese evergreen plant, and how beautiful the plant is, and it can light up your home. As you can see, this is a real beauty. So this is Chinese Evergreen. Pink Splash is the cultivar. There are many cultivars of Chinese Evergreen. You'll find them in just green. There's a lot of some with blotching patterns and spattered looking patterns. There's some with lines on them, green and white lines. So there's a lot of really beautiful Chinese evergreens to choose from. And that's one of my favorite things about this plant, because you can really dress up, decorate just about any room in your house with a Chinese evergreen. You just have to go out there and look for the different varieties, and then you can match them up. And today it even matches my shirt, as you can see. So it's a really fun plant in terms of the variegated foliage that you can that it offers you. And I do have a video on plants with variegated foliage and how you can use them to decorate your home. So it's very versatile in how it looks, and the colors it brings to your house. And as I've mentioned too, it's really easy to grow. So you've got a stunning plant that's easy to grow. Those are always on the top of my list of favorite plants. So generally the leaf pattern is about the same with the plants. Some have a little bit longer, thinner leaves. Some have a little bit rounder and more and wider leaves. But for the most part, this is how the plant grows. Okay. So as I mentioned, I'm going to talk to you today about how to keep this beauty happy and healthy. So to have luck with this plant, the first thing to keep in mind is lighting. And generally, as I mentioned in a lot of videos, lighting is a critical thing to keep in mind for all houseplants that you want to keep healthy. Because if you don't provide proper lighting, that will be the first thing that will affect the plant in terms of it going downhill very quickly. Watering is another one, but lighting, without proper lighting, a plant is just not going to do well. So these plants, fortunately, do have a pretty wide range of light that they will grow well under, which is another reason why I love this plant, because it makes it a lot easier, because you can fit it into most homes. And they can take low light, not really low light. We're not talking, you have to turn on the flashlight and that sort of thing. But they can take a lower light area of your house. If you're going to grow one of these guys in a lower light area, I would suggest not going with anyone with deep colors in terms of the different, there's red ones, the pink ones. I wouldn't go with the one that's highly variegated like this. I would go with more along the lines of one that has just more of a green, or maybe a green and another color in it. But these ones like this that have a lot of variegation going on and a lot of bright colors don't tend to do as well in the lower light. Okay, I have this one in medium light, so I would suggest that in terms of lighting. But as mentioned, from low to medium light. The only thing that they won't do well in is bright light. In bright light, they will get scorched. You will get leaf burn. I do have a video on what that looks like and what to do if you've burned your plants. But in general, obviously, you don't want to burn one of these beauties, because it takes a long time for it to grow back and grow new leaves and et cetera and that sort of thing. So that's the lighting that you want. Now, watering. another area where you need to be careful. So Chinese evergreen prefers to remain moist, but you don't want it soggy. So you want to water when the first half inch to inch of soil has dried out. So half inch to inch of soil has dried out. If you water too often and it's sitting in soggy soil and it's sitting in a soggy saucer, you will end up with root rot. If you don't water enough, the plant will wilt. It doesn't always come back if you've really droughted this plant, so you definitely don't want it to dry out either. However, it doesn't tend to dry out as frequently as some plants. For one thing, because you're generally growing, you will be growing it in a medium to low light, and plants in medium to low light don't drink as fast as plants in brighter light. So that's something to keep in mind. As far as location, also in terms of lighting too, make sure that this plant isn't near a draft, like an air conditioning vent, a heater vent, where doors open a lot, because it doesn't tend to like that. I mentioned temperature, so, and it liking a warm temperature. So Chinese evergreen is susceptible to damage in cold temperatures and drafty conditions. So it prefers 65 to 70 degrees. So you want to avoid keeping this plant in a room that goes any lower than 60 degrees for an extended period of time. It can and does like higher than 70 degrees. The 65 to 70 is its preferred, but it will do fine when it gets hot as well. So 80 degrees Fahrenheit, we're talking Fahrenheit here, 85, somewhere in there, that's okay too. Generally speaking, better for shorter periods of time than an extended period of time. But remember too that it is from tropical and subtropical areas. And that being said, it can adjust itself to the higher temperatures. What it can't adjust itself to is the lower temperatures. Most houseplants, a lot of houseplants, as I mentioned in other videos, come from the jungle floors. They come from tropical areas and semi-tropical areas as well. So they can acclimate to higher temperatures, but they're never, a jungle plant is never going to say, hey, this is great in 40 or 50 degrees. It's not going to. So keep that in mind as well. Humidity. They do like, the Chinese evergreen do like a 50 to 60% humidity. You can achieve that by misting them several times a day, placing them on humidity trays, grouping plants. I have this plant with some other plants. It's actually next to my pink polka dot plant and looks really cool with that. And it's near a Dracaena that gives it, so they humidify each other. So if you have this plant amongst other plants, they will tend to get enough humidity just from doing that. But if not, try some of the other ways to humidify. And I do have various videos on how to humidify, and I'll put some links below. So pests. The Chinese evergreen can sometimes get the dreaded mealybug, so keep an eye out for that. Look under the leaves, look inside the plant where the new leaves are coming up. The mealybugs love to hide in there. They'll often be on the midrib. That's the rib that goes from the stem all the way through the middle of the leaf is the midrib. They'll hide along the edges there and start munching away. If you do see them, spray with isopropyl alcohol, at least 70%. You can do it straight and spray it, let it sit for a while, then rinse it. Keep checking on the plant, make sure that it doesn't have any more. The sooner you can catch mealybugs on the Chinese evergreen, the better you'll have of just eradicating them and not having to worry about them. Okay, in terms of fertilizing too, what you want to do is you want to feed the Chinese evergreen monthly or semi-monthly with a well-balanced organic fertilizer. Okay, so I have one here that works really well for that. You also want to top dress the plant every 6 months with a half-inch layer of worm compost. That will enrich the soil and give the plant necessary micronutrients. I do have a video on top dressing as well that I will include below. So that is it for growing this beauty. And of course, do talk to your beautiful Chinese evergreen on a regular basis, and especially when all is well, and tell your plant that your plant's doing really well growing for you. And do get more, because as mentioned, this is a really nice, easy plant to grow. in the indoors, and it just keeps on growing and keeps looking good. It is a slow grower, but this plant will eventually get about a foot, probably about a foot taller than this as it grows, but it is a very slow growing plant. Thank you for stopping by today. Please leave any comments about any indoor gardening tutorials you'd like to see. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. And please check the bell if you'd like to be notified when new videos are released.